All right, so we don't have a farm to interview this month, so we're back with CRB Pappy, and he's going to go over how the steers that he sent to the market dressed out and 2026's plans.
All right. Yeah, I received these animals back in.
Volume.
I received these animals back in October of 24. The ones I had taken to the market on January the 14th and 21st. I had two sets that went up, and they couldn't handle all 5 of them at one time to do what we wanted them to do, what I wanted them to do. So I had to break it up, 2 this week, 3 the next week. So I had 5 animals, and I ended up paying $2.25 for these animals live on the hoof, and they was in weights of anywhere from 564 to 643. Weights in between there. Well, I'm sorry, there's a low one of 518. So those came and they just wintered with me, feeding them hay through the winter and a little grain also when the winter time is, give them a little extra boost with the grain. And then springtime comes and they just roam on the pasture that I have divided up, which has been out there on videos before. The 9 little cells that I have on my acreage, and with 5 of them it's gotten a little short, and I've had to take and feed some hay like in August, because for the past 2 years we've kind of had a drought in this neighborhood. So I had to take and feed some round bales in August to get me to the winter time, and then also get ready to pull these animals off of the pasture and bring them in to get ready to market them.
So how long do you normally feed them for? I know we went over it before, but...
All right, usually I do like 120 days, and these 5 that I had this last year, they did not slow up on eating at all. So usually I get them finished out a little bit too early that they back off on eating. But this bunch of 5, they didn't back off at all. I just kept adding to them. And the 5, they ended up going with 125 pounds a day is where they ended up at before they went to market. So they was eating.
Couldn't get them to stop.
Yeah. And all of that just figures in when you're trying to do this little bit of farming is what I do, just a little bit, raising and selling my beef animals.
So what type of feed are you putting to them? I know we put that out before too.
So that's on the Frederick Co-op where I go to, and it's natural food and all. It's grain. Most of it is just grain on it. And then I got hay that I get square bales, and all this is at a cost, of course, and because I have no land to take and make hay on, so everything comes with a cost when it comes to this. And I got a whole bunch of numbers here, breakdown and everything as to what transpired out of all this. And I did some work around my hay feeder that I had reworked and redone. Now the hay stays in the dry and they don't take and waste as much the way I've built it. And it's just like you would see on some of the hay racks and all. You just don't walk in and come back out with a mouthful. You gotta put your head in at the top and then lower it down, get your hay, and then, you know, if you go stay in there, you stay in, but you just don't pull your head back out. You got to pick it back up and then come back out. And that way it doesn't waste the hay. So those kind of expenses is some of the things that I incorporate in with me trying to figure out as to how much I'm charging per pound for this beef when I get ready to sell it at the market. When I got these animals, I had enough people in line that they were all actually sold before they went to market. But they wasn't paid for it because we didn't know how much they weighed. But I have the customers that, yes, I want. So that's what happened there. And usually that's how I purchase my animals, as to talking to my customers. Are you still interested the next year and all, as to how many I'm going to buy? So
Let's get into the good stuff.
well, one of the things then too that I did a little extra this year also was extra. I put urea down trying to get my grass to grow. And with the drought and everything, I did it in the spring, I did it in the fall, and I also fertilized. It's like, and all this is numbers and everything that goes along with it. And then I have minerals that I had taken and purchased. They started with me on, like I said, October 25th, actually, of 24 till January 14th of 26. So I have these animals for approximately 17 months. Yeah, 17 months there. And when they were marketed to the slaughterhouse, they were like 20 to 21 months old when they got there. And I have live weights. I got the heaviest one ended up being 1,245 pounds. That's live weight. And it hung out with a hanging weight after you remove the hide, entrails, feet, head, all of that. The hanging weight ended up being 687 pounds. And that's only a dress out of 55%. But my animals do dress out lighter because my customers do not want all that white meat. But I do have white meat in the meat. You know, the marbling is what they talk about. So I do have that in the meat.
We have that right here.
And this, what
gonna
he's
be
going
hard
to
to
show
see.
you is a, what steak is that?
That's a rib steak. So this is a rib steak. That's how it comes from the butcher shop. I'll probably end up having to overlay a picture because it's kind of hard to do it in here. But
Look at how much white is on the outside of the meat. And that's no trimming done there on the outside.
then we have another one. Porterhouse. Porterhouse. We got all that good marbling. It has been pointed out to us that they should scrape the steaks, but whatever. So, good chunk of fat right there. Go for it.
So, I mean, I'm happy with it, and I know my customers are, because they keep coming back, repeaters. So everybody seems to be comfortable with it. And I had one person that actually backed out on me this year for a half a beef, and I had to come up with customers, and I had no problem. I actually sold 2 of that half a beef in quarters, and it's a half a side. A side is a half, and then they split that between 2 people. Yeah, you may not get all the cuts that you want, and the other customer's not going to get all the cuts that they want, but they work it out that you both get what you're asking for as best they can in the cutting process, so that way you get a half of a side of beef, the front and the hind. So And I had one of my best ones that dressed out for me was a live weight of 1,189 pounds, and its hanging weight was 700 pounds. And that gave me a 59% hanging weight. So that's pretty good because everybody I think is wanting to hit 60 and above. So I'm happy because I don't feed all that to get that fat on the outside. Yes, the fat is where the taste is, the marbling inside, it's going to be there, and sometimes that takes some age to get there. It all depends on your breed too. The breed has a lot to do with it. And the guy I get my animals from, he's just a commercial guy, and I buy from him. I've had very good luck with him, and it's, you know, it's something that I enjoy doing and working with him with, because the same guy that he brings me the animals when the time comes, he takes and also hauls them to the market for me. But that's at a price too. So everything has a price that goes along with everything. So
Ain't much out there that's free.
exactly. The only thing that is not in my numbers is my time that I have put in, but the numbers that I can come up with is just what everything costs me, and then how much I charge a pound to get back, and I hope to break even. And I put a quarter of a beef in my freezer for free. I figure that takes care of what I'm doing.
Your time and your effort.
Yeah, my time and effort, right. I mean, I think I'm in deserving of at least that. I only need a quarter because it's just the wife and I, and sometimes we have company over, but a quarter of a beef will take us till next year. Because like this year here, I think we actually have 2 T-bones left. We got a pack of stew meat left, and I think there's a roast and a couple hamburger patties left. So we're good. And we already have the meat in the freezer for the 26th to 27. So
I know we had way more than that left over. We don't have as much company.
yeah. But this year I had taken in, I put all the weights together, and I charged $4.10 a pound this year. Next year I've done told my customers it's going to go to $4.60. I'm sorry, the price of animals has been going up, so my price has got to go up, and nobody is having an issue with it. There was one guy that he had a little bit of an issue and all, but I just had to explain to him why. So, but I ended up with these 5 animals. I had a total weight of 3,460 pounds out of these animals times that 410, which put me at 14,186. So that's what the animals gave me. And with the bills of hay and feed and fertilizer, everything that had went into the minerals, into getting these animals to the market, I ended up at 12,119 with that $4.10 a pound. I ended up doing that. But I also help out my sons once in a while too, like Bim here. I help them out a little bit, and I got another son that he gets helped out a little bit, but I made a little profit. Total of about just the profit off of this bunch was $64.97. That was cash in my pocket. Not the beef in my freezer, but the cash in my pocket. So, but I help the boys out once in a while. Every year, pretty much, I help them out.
If the government would stop shutting down, we wouldn't have this problem.
Exactly. Yeah, that would help out a lot. So,
I gotta move this. Getting a little warm.
so, but yeah, it's good to sit down and talk about this here. But like next year, I mean, I'm trying something different. I've never did it before. I went 2 heifers this year. So I've purchased them. They're at the house eating hay and feed. It's winter time. And they're taking in, I don't know, getting probably just like 30 pounds of feed a day. But all the hay is in front of them as long as they want to go down there and eat. Right now we still have some snow on the ground, but it's raining and I think it's probably going to be melting away pretty good this week. But there's still not a lot of grass because of the drought that we had this summer and not growing. It just wasn't growing. And having 5 animals takes a little bit of grass to get them fed. So it's like I'm feeding the hay that I gotta feed. I'll just go purchase more and that'll be figured in with the price for next year. But these heifers that I got this year, I was told it's probably going to take a little bit longer to get them finished out. I figured when I purchased them, they would be cheaper than what the steers were. Well, the week that I purchased these animals, the heifer prices went up and the steer prices dropped. So that left me with more expensive animals.
You got the replacement heifers everybody wanted.
Yeah, I got the replacement heifers everybody wanted, exactly. But yeah, I mean, it's all just a little bit of a game and you got to try to hit it the best you can. And I went with the heifers because I figured, you know, they might be a little bit cheaper. And the guy I buy from, he could take and send these steers to the market and get a better price for them. Well, it just flip-flopped this year. Because I told him, because I'll be getting a hold of him probably like May or June and tell him I want steers or I want heifers. And I'm not going to take and have steers and heifers running together because they like to ride each other because the females come in heat. Now the steer, and sometimes the heifers will ride each other also. But if you have steers and heifers running together on a small operation as to what I'm doing, they're going to just not put on pounds, they're going to take pounds off because of the female coming in heat and all. And that's why I'm going to either have steers or I'm going to have heifers. So that's one of the things I'm doing with my place.
I'm good. I'm getting toasty.
I know, my backside. That's why I had to shift a little bit. This is a nice little thing here, taking care of this fire here. Yeah.
Well, we're in my garage. As you see, we have a fireplace that used to be for butchering.
Yep.
I bought my grandmother's farm, or scratch.
Acreage, couple acres.
I bought my grandmother's house and property. It's got 2 acres.
Mother. Huh? My mother.
His mother. It's got a chicken coop on the other side of this fireplace. We may or may not be putting a garden in. Dizzy has been on the fence and maybe scaling that back dramatically. She wanted a 40 by 40 and I've talked her out of that. So, if we can do fireside chats, we can do fireside chats. So, until we line up the next farm, we will see you later. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe.